Recorded Books presents Critical Conditions by Stephen White, narrated by Richard Poe. A quote from Anatole France. "The law, in its majestic equality, forbids the rich as well as the poor to sleep under bridges, to beg in the streets, and to steal bread." A quote from Chris Christopherson, from me and Bobby McGee. Freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose. I hold the hands of people I never touch. I provide comfort to people I never embrace. I watch people walk into brick walls, the same ones over and over again, and I coax them to turn around and try to walk in a different direction. People rarely see me gladly. As a rule, I catch the residue of their despair. I see people who are broken and people who only think they are broken. I see people who have had their faces rubbed in their failures. I see weak people wanting anesthesia, and strong people who wonder what they have done to make such an enemy of fate. I am often the final pit stop people take before they crawl across the finish line that is marked, "I give up." Some people beg me to help. Some people dare me to help. Sometimes the beggars and darers look the same. Absolutely the same. I'm supposed to know how to tell them apart. Some people who visit me need scar tissue to cover their wounds. Some people who visit me need their wounds opened further, explored for signs of infection and contamination. I make those calls, too. Some days I am invigorated by it all. Some days I'm numbed. Always, I'm humbled by the role of helper. And occasionally, I'm ambushed. Chapter 1. Diane Estevez poked her head into my office at 12:30. "You free for lunch?" she asked. I try not to schedule appointments on Friday afternoon and had nothing on my calendar until 3 o'clock when I had to pick up Lauren at the district attorney's office to drive her to DIA for a flight to Washington. Her mother had just been hospitalized with a suspected heart attack, and my wife was heading home to be with the family. I answered Diane, "Yes, as a matter of fact, lunch sounds great. We haven't done that for a while." "I have one call to make, then I'm ready. How about Jax? Is Jax okay?" "Jax is good." Diane went to make her call, and I locked away a couple of charts that were on my desk. She and I share an old Victorian house that we had renovated to house our clinical psychology practices. At the time we made the financial leap of faith required to invest in the building, we both had thriving fee-for-service practices that paid the bills and rewarded us handsomely for our labor. Over the last few years, though, changes in healthcare financing had altered the landscape for most healthcare providers, us included. Diane and I had adopted different strategies to confront the revolution in the way healthcare was provided and paid for. She went into the psychological evaluation business with a vengeance, while I retreated into the narrow oasis of doing only fee-for-service psychotherapy. The commonality between us was that neither of us belonged to any managed care rosters of certified or approved providers, if that membership required that we either reduce our fee or agree in advance to limit the care we might provide to our patients. In the managed care revolution, we were saboteurs. Fortunately, it was a luxury we could each afford. She had a wealthy husband. I had a working wife and a lot of experience living on lean income. Jack's Fish House, where Diane wanted to have lunch, was on the west end of Pearl Street in Boulder, only a couple of blocks away from our offices on Walnut. She arrived first and settled onto the chair I would have chosen if she had offered me the choice, which she never did. She snapped open her napkin and draped it over her lap. "So, you ready? 'Cause this is what's going on. I got a call from John Trent today. You know Trent?" I thought I had heard the name. He's a psychologist, right? I think I may have met him at the IDC luncheon you dragged me to, but I don't really know him. IDC is the Interdisciplinary Committee on Child Custody, a group of mental health professionals, lawyers, and judges intent on making the process of determining child custody more humane. To me, the committee's task felt, at best, Sisyphean, at worst, quixotic. Diane was an officer and a recruiter for the organization.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.